Good morning, children. This is your science teacher, and I welcome you all for the new session. And today we are going to start our third chapter Is Matter Pure? And today's content, what we are going to discuss is about the pure substances, mixtures, and types of mixtures. First one, pure substances. What is meant by pure? In your day to day language, you will be using this word pure so many times. When you are purchasing something from the market or purchasing something from the dairy products like milk and all, you will be going for a word pure. We want the pure milk, we want the pure ghee, like this. Pure means something or the substances with no adulteration is said to be the pure. Adulteration means unwanted substances must not be there, then it is said to be the adulteration. That with no adulteration, if you are getting a substance, that is said to be pure. But in chemistry, it's not the definition. Its definition is something different. Let us try to get what is meant by pure in chemistry. For that, I am going to show you a slide with an example. Here a woman is there and she is churning a pot of milk. A pot with milk is there and she is churning it with a churner. Then after some time what will happen? A paste like solid will be coming out from the pot, which you will be calling it as a cream. Isn't or not? This in your houses also your mothers will be doing this. Nowadays who is churning? All are keeping in the mixies and all. Isn't or not, children? While they are churning this one, curd. Here we will be getting a product called as cream. And that cream contains more than one component in it. That's why you will be calling that as a mixture. And in generally when churning is happening, what it will do is the lightest components comes to the surface and the heavier particles will be settling down. And commercially, generally for separating this cream from the milk, a machine called as centrifuge is used. And what is the principle behind it? What is the principle it will be following is centrifuge means it will be separating the lightest particles and heavier particles. That is the main principle it will be doing. And this is also used in laboratories. Diagnostic laboratories will be there, blood checking the blood reports and all. Blood tests and all laboratories will be there. No, there also they will be using a machine called as centrifuge. They will be taking the blood samples in a small test tubes, and these they will be inserting in the machine. And once you on the machine, it will rotate. And at this time of rotation, that is tubes inside the machine, what's its process is it will separate the lighter particles from the heavier particles. And that is the way how it will be doing it. And that process is called as centrifugation. You will be calling this. Okay, and this particular centrifugation is also used in some few machines which you will be using in your day-to-day life. Try to find it out. I think so that particular machine will be there in all your houses. That machine will be using a principle called as centrifugation. Try to get it. Otherwise, no, try to get it. I will ask you in the next class. Okay. And this mixture, I have told you, the cream which you will be getting is said to be the mixture. And this mixture, if you take pure, when you will be calling it as a pure. This slide we have completed, children. What the centrifugation will be done and how it will be done and all. What is meant by mixture? Here we have seen the cream is said to be the mixture, no? What is meant by mixture? Here, if I take a fruit juice, what are the substances which you will be adding for it? Water you will be adding, a little bit of sugar you will be adding, the fruit pulp also you will be adding it. Is it or not? All this you will be adding. And you will be saying it's a pure. Isn't it? That means if you take any part of this juice, that means first sip the taste will be same, and in the last sip also the juice taste will be same. For example, one more example I will quote you. When you are taking a gold biscuit as a sample, then wherever you see the composition of the gold biscuit will be same. Here I will show you a slide. This is a gold biscuit, children, and wherever you want to see the composition will be the same. It doesn't change. Entire gold atoms only will be there inside it. Is it or not? But I will show you one more slide here. And this is also a mixture. That is also a mixture. This is also a mixture. Here some grains are there. In that I can differentiate the grains by their color, pattern and all. In rice is there, children. Think that rice is there. In that small mud stones will be there. Are we able to separate them or not by your hands? Yes, we are able to. That is also called as a mixture. Is it or not? In generally, this mixture is made up of two or more components and they don't combine chemically. You will be able to separate them by physical separation or different techniques, whatever you have learned in your 7th class. Is it or not, children? We will go with one more slide showing this. See here. This is the purest form. That means wherever you see, I have shown you the gold biscuit. In that wherever you see, you will be getting only the same composition of the gold. Is it or not? And this is called as a mixture where you will be able to separate them depending upon their color or size. Here if I see these all the four I can separate, and in the same way these all the four I can separate. That's why we will be calling this as a mixture and we will be calling this as a pure substance. Did you understand, children? Which one you will be calling it as a pure substance and which one you will be calling this as a mixture? Yes, we will go with the definition of the mixture. It is generally made up of two or more components that are not chemically combined. The substances in a mixture retain their own properties and they can be physically separated. As I have told you an example of rice, you will be able to separate the mud grains from the rice before cooking. Like that. That is a simply one example, and you can go for the multiple examples also. Here, types of mixtures. So many types of mixtures will be there. Matter will be existing in how many forms, children? 3 forms. Is it or not? Solid state, liquid state and the gaseous state. Here, this mixture also can be found in all the 3 states. In solid states you can find, in liquid states you can find, and in the gaseous states you can find, and sometimes combination of these 3 states also you can find the mixtures. All those examples we will see today. Here they will be of 2 types, heterogeneous mixtures and homogeneous mixtures. We will see what is meant by this homogeneous mixtures first. Let us go with the homogeneous mixtures. Here I have taken 2 test tubes, children. Like this, the test tubes will be there in this shape. I have taken 2 test tubes, and in one test tube I have taken some water, and in one more test tube I have taken some kerosene. And in these 2 test tubes I have added a spoon of salt in it. In these 2 test tubes I have added a spoon of salt in it, and I will sterilize it, stir it with the same spoon. Then after some time, what you will be noting it, children? A glass full of water, the salt have been dissolved in it, and or the test tube or the glass, whatever you take is there, and in the next glass whatever you have taken the kerosene, in that if you drop the salt and if you stir it, the salt will not be dissolved in the kerosene. Isn't or not? Here 2 examples I have given, and one more example is lemonade, and this is a mixture of water, sugar, lemon juice, etc. and the salt, whatever you will be taking, etc. In the sense, these are the 4 things which you will be adding. Here what I am asking is, if you taste it, are we able to get any difference for the first sip of the glass of lemonade and the last sip? No, you don't find any difference. And in the same way, before example, whatever I have told, salt water, are we able to get the salt out of the water which you have dissolved? Or in the same way, are we able to get the mixture of the substances whatever I have added to the glass of water, the sugar or lemon juice or the salt? Am I able to separate them? Or am I able to see them from here? They will be dissolved evenly. They will be dissolved evenly. In the before example also I have told two test tubes, one with the water and one with the kerosene. The salt will be dissolved in the glass of water, but it don't dissolve in kerosene. And in the same way here, one more example lemonade I have shown you, where it is a mixture of some water, sugar, lemon juice, so many different substances I am adding, even though I am not able to separate them physically. Isn't or not, children? Am I able to separate the sugar from it? No. Am I able to separate the lemon juice from it? No. Am I able to separate the salt from it? No, I can't. They are dissolved in the water. They are evenly dissolved in the water. Evenly, why I am able to say is, if you take a glass of lemonade and if you drink the first sip, taste will be as it is equal to the last sip taste. Isn't or not? Here the substances whatever you are adding, you are unable to find them physically, or if you keep it on the table for some time, will they be dissolved down? No. Why? Because all these have been dissolved uniformly. In the same way, in the previous example also, the salt in water have been dissolved uniformly wherever the salt does not dissolve in the kerosene. Uniformly, not uniformly, it will settle down. It don't dissolve in the kerosene. From these two examples, we will be telling what is meant by the heterogeneous mixtures and what is meant by the homogeneous mixtures. We get a clarity about this. Is it or not, children? Here, this is a homogeneous example, and here, whatever I have told you, salt added to the water. Once the salt is added to the glass of water, you will not be able to bifurcate it with your naked eye or physically. This type of mixtures, where they will be uniformly distributed through it once they are getting mixed in it, and it will be very difficult to distinguish them from one another by visual observation. Those are said to be homogeneous mixtures. The lemonade is a homogeneous mixture. A salt dissolved in water is also an example of this homogeneous mixture. And one more example is air is a homogeneous mixture because it contains different gases present in it. Are we able to say this is nitrogen, this is oxygen, this is carbon dioxide? Are we able to? We are unable to. Why? Because they have been spread evenly. They have been spread evenly. This type of mixtures are said to be the homogeneous. And this is a heterogeneous mixture, as I have quoted you, a salt dissolved in the kerosene. Here some liquid have been dissolved. You can do this experiment in your home also, children. Take a glass of water and pour some 4 to 5 drops of oil in it and try to make it to dissolve in the water with the help of the spoon. You will find it will form a layer on the surface of the water, but it don't dissolve in the water. These type of examples are said to be the heterogeneous mixtures. Here we will go with the definition. It is made up of different substances or same substance in different states, and they are not uniformly distributed. Example, the oil and vinegar, oil dissolved in the vinegar or naphthalene dissolved in the water. You don't find them dissolving evenly. Is it or not? Yes, these are the daily life examples which we are discussing, children. Like this, the mixtures are of two types. Those are heterogeneous mixtures and homogeneous mixtures. Thank you, children. And you read your textbooks. In this next slide, you will be having an assignment. Do it in your homework. And from next Monday onwards, we are starting the virtual classes. Hope so all of you will participate very actively. Thank you, children. And this is your assignment. Do it.